Hello again, everyone. Today I want to share a palette that I have been wanting to share for quite a while now. I was holding off because I wanted to fill the palette at the same time that I showed you the palette, but I had not decided on my color choices yet. So I finally decided on my color choices. I'm actually still missing one color, and I'll show you why that is and how I chose my colors. But let's focus on the palette first for a minute, and then I'll go into the color choices and why I chose them. So this is a wooden palette from Kingscreek. It's a little travel palette. These are made in Germany. They are made with wine barrels, old wine barrels. I think they're oak. And actually, now that I've had this for a little while, it actually smells like a wine barrel. So that's kind of interesting and kind of fun. So it comes, and they're all handmade, and it comes with this little pouch here made out of felt. I believe this is wool felt. And that's kind of nice for protecting it if you're going to carry it around. It's really super light. And I think it is actually quite practical for going out into the field with. It has these, they have a variety of different palettes, but this is the one I chose because, so their palettes are not cheap. I will say that now. If you want to check out on their website, the variety that they have, I will put a link to their website down below. This particular travel palette is one of their less expensive ones, less being relative. And I also like the setup of it, of having 14 wells and 3 different mixing areas up here. I opted to have them coated in white. You could also have them coated in a clear coat up here. The individual palettes or wells here are coated with a clear varnish of some kind so that the paint won't soak into the wood. So this was a luxury purchase. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but it is quite nice, and I did want to have something like this. And they actually now have a whole little plein air kit that I saw on their website. It's outside of my price range, but it's very beautiful, and maybe for a big splurge someday that would be nice. But that's all available on their website, which I will link below. So the main features of this is that it's portable. It is lightweight, and it's made out of French wine barrels. So kind of an odd combination. But I'll show you, I'm going to leave this open for the remainder of the video, and then I will show you what colors I selected. So I decided to go with the colors that are in Jane Blundell's Ultimate Mixing Palette, minus buff titanium. And the reason why it's minus buff titanium is that her Ultimate Mixing set is a set of 15 colors normally, and I only have 14 wells. I already have a version of her mixing palette in my Expeditionary Arts travel palette, which is what this little swatch sheet is from. I'll go ahead and open that and show it to you. So here we have, and there's only 14 slots, and how she dealt with that is she put a small little pan of the phthalo blue and the phthalo green in one slot. So they're in separate little pans, but they're in what is taking up essentially one slot of like the other colors. And that's because those colors are so super strong and you only need to use a little bit of them. But I'm finding that I'm not using the titanium white that often, or buff titanium. And I think I do want a full pan of both of these, the phthalos that are in here. So I decided to remove the white, and I figured if I found that I was using the white or was missing the white at some point, I could put a little dollop up here in one of my mixing palettes or mixing areas. So that's the plan for the future. So I am missing a color, and the reason why I'm missing a color is it's Indian Red, and I did not have this already in my collection of watercolor tubes by Daniel Smith. These are all going to be Daniel Smith. That is what Jane Blundell uses. I'm going to link to her blog below, specifically the page where she talks about her Ultimate Mixing Palette. Jane Blundell is just has a wealth of information on her website. I highly recommend just leafing through there. She has swatches of pretty much every major brand of watercolor, and she's amazing. I have the luxury of taking an online class from her this summer, and it's been really, really amazing. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to have a second palette with the same colors in it so that I could use them separately if I wanted to. Because this is the one I'm using now for her course, and we're going through these colors like nobody's business. I'm going to have to fill these up a little bit more. Well, for certain colors, because we've certainly dealt with certain colors more than others. But I think quantity-wise, these are not going to give you what would be a normal half pan size. This is probably about half of that, I would say. So maybe like a quarter pan size in these wells. But, oh yeah, so going back to the Indian red, I got distracted there. So the Indian red, I didn't already have it in my collection, and I did order it from Blick Art Supplies online, and it's just been taking forever to get. So I didn't want this to be held up anymore because I didn't have that color. So I'm just going to leave that pan blank for now, and then I will fill that later. The other color that I have, but I don't have a lot of, is Pyrrole Scarlet. I thought for some reason that I had a larger tube of that, but apparently the color I had was Pyrrole Red, which is different. So, and since this one is almost empty, this little one, I'm also going to show you a tool that you can use to get the most paint out of your tube. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So I'm going to go through the colors real quick, and then I'm going to go ahead and start putting them in these pans. So Buff Titanium is normally the first color that is in this set, but I am not including that for the reasons I said before. The next one is Hansa Yellow Medium. And then the next one is Quinacridone Gold. We have Pyrrole Scarlet, Pyrrole Crimson, Quinacridone Gold, Ultramarine Blue, Jane's Gray, which she has at the end here, but I'm going to put on the row above, Raw Umber, Indian Red, which I'm missing, Burnt Sienna, Goethite, Phthalo Green, Phthalo Blue, and Cerulean Blue Chromium. So, and she does talk on the page that I've linked you to about why she chose all of these colors, what the use of each of these colors is in your palette. And in taking her class this summer, I've realized that she put an immense amount of thought into the creation of this particular Ultimate Mixing palette. There's so many different really interesting combinations that you can make with this palette. There are colors that aren't on this palette that you can make from this palette. Just to name a few, you can make a Prussian blue out of mixing different colors. You can make a coral with mixing certain colors. The list goes on, and I would just recommend going to her website and reading through the reasons why she put those together. And those are essentially the reasons why I'm going to be using it. So I'm going to put this little swatch sheet aside. The rest of the video is going to be focused on filling this palette. I'm going to take it off of the little felt thing there. And I have a napkin off to the side just in case things get messy, because sometimes they do. And I'm just going to start at the top and go across the top row and then go across the bottom row. So the first one I'm going to fill is Hansa Yellow Medium. And Hansa Yellow Medium really is a beautiful medium yellow color. And this will really show you too how to fill. So basically I'm starting at one end, squeezing and moving to the other end. And then, and usually I try to kind of knock down that little, there's always a little bit of a peak at the end, and I try to knock that down a little bit, but these will go down once they start to dry, and I may even do a second filling. So the next one is Quinacridone Gold, and this color I have really grown to love. I'm just making sure that there was something in the bottom of that palette there. Took that out. It is really a beautiful deep gold color, and in this palette it is being used as the warm yellow. Oh, and I got some on the cap here. I'm already going to start making a mess. So the next one is this Pyrrole Scarlet, and I will show you what I use to get the most paint out of a tube. So this device here is called a tube ringer, and although it looks a little big for this, it probably is. You can get smaller ones, but this is the size that I have. I use it for both watercolor and acrylics. So this is really to just squeeze all the paint out of the tube. So what I'm going to do here, because this one is almost empty, okay, I'm going to open up the tube. So then you undo this little jaw here, and then you clamp down on the very end of the tube here. So sometimes a little tricky because you have to get it in the right spot. And then you can see it's already coming out a little bit there, so I'm going to put that above. And then you have to make sure that you're twisting the right way. And you can't really see here, I'll show you, I'll tilt it that way. So then you just simply, you have to hold it kind of tightly, and then you, it essentially is wringing out the paint that is in your tube. Looks like I've got a little paint bubble here at the top. And this will help you get pretty much all of the paint out of the tube that you're using. And this particular tube doesn't have a lot of paint in it left, so I'm probably going to need to fill it with another tube later on. And once you get to the top, it's not going to twist anymore because it's coming up against that. Undo that. It's coming up against this piece right here where it's not going to do that anymore. So usually what I do is then I try not to make a mess here. I roll up the tube to that point, and then I manually press the rest of it out if I can. Okay, I think that's as good as it's going to get on that tube. I will fill the rest of that tube. You can see I got a little yellow on my hand just because I was trying to get in there with the red. But that tube ringer is really, really helpful. The only problem is you don't have a whole lot of control over where the paint is going when it's coming out of the tube. So it takes a little practice to kind of get that down. But I will fill the rest of this when I get my bigger tube of Pyrrole Scarlet, rather. This is Pyrrole Crimson. That is the next color. And I am erring on the side of filling a little bit more than a little bit less, because like I said, these will settle down. And once it's partially dry, I can also tamp down those little peaks as well with a clean finger. Okay. The next one is Quinacridone Rose. And I usually don't use the tube ringer until I am getting close to an empty tube. You could use it all along to just start at the end and you know, use the tube that way. But because there is the issue of having control over where your paint is going, I usually don't do that till I'm getting to the end of a tube so that I can use the rest of it. So this is Ultramarine Blue. Oop. And because of my high altitude here in Denver, sometimes you do get some smushing out of the colors in your tube. And the process can be a little messy. That's why I have a little tissue off to the side here. This next one is Jane's Gray. And Jane's Gray was specifically made by Jane Blundell. And the color mix is Ultramarine Blue and Burnt Sienna. So you may ask, you know, you already have Ultramarine Blue and you have Burnt Sienna in here. Why would you have the mix of those two on your palette? Really the main reason is convenience. And this is acting as sort of a Payne's gray where you can darken colors, you can use it in shadow and that sort of thing. So the next color here is Raw Umber. And then you don't always have to mix up that color, which is nice. And then I'm going to skip one because the next one is Indian Red, which I'm still waiting on. The next one is Burnt Sienna. And this is the Daniel Smith Burnt Sienna, but I have actually switched in my main palette to using a Holbein or Holbein Burnt Sienna. It has a little bit of a different tone to it, which I like. The Daniel Smith Burnt Sienna is perfectly fine. I just prefer that with the other colors that I have in my own personal curated travel palette. And then this is Goethite, which is kind of a light, almost like a raw sienna color. Okay. The next one is Phthalo Green. And Phthalo Green and Phthalo Blue are pretty much predominantly mixing colors. You're probably not going to want to use either of these colors by themselves unless you're doing something that that is you want to be super bright and kind of almost like neon, because they're very, very pigmented. And that's part of the reason why she thought that we could get away with just doing 2 half pans of each of these colors, just because you don't need a lot of it at a time. And then the last one is Cerulean Blue Chromium. And this is a really lovely, cool blue. Okay. So that's the last color, other than the one I'm missing there, the Indian Red. And then I will put all of these tubes back in my little wooden box where I have all of my watercolor tubes. This particular tube is having a little bit of trouble. Sometimes that happens and you just kind of have to wiggle it around. So now what I'm going to do with these colors is I'm going to let them sit open in this palette for at least a day, probably more than a day. After a day, I think I can probably go in and kind of tamp down some of the peaks. I can, if I was in a pinch, I probably could use this, go ahead and take it out somewhere if I wanted to paint plein air. But I'm going to probably let this dry for a little while longer, just so that these individual paint pans can get good and firm and don't have any chance of bleeding into any other colors. And then of course I will do the same thing when I get this last color in, and then fill in the rest of this palette here, or this well. So that's it. That's just a quick rundown on filling your own palette when you get them, and showing off this beautiful Kingscreek wooden palette. All right. And then I will do a follow-up video once this is all dry and once I do have the full palette made up. And again, I want to put in another plug for Jane Blundell. She's fantastic. She's amazing. Please check out her website. It's full of free information, which is fantastic. All right. I will see you next time. Feel free to like and or subscribe, and have a great day. Thanks. Bye.